crystals and stuff, and I got a bunch of emerald right here, even a special piece of emerald, really different. It's got curvature to it. Unboxing my gems, my new gems. So I got two. So this one I got a bunch of pairs. These are two identicals and stuff, and I got a bunch of emerald right here, even a special piece of emerald, really different. It's got curvature to it. And there's still even nice gems. There's like a little small heart and stuff, but for the most part, I've been putting the really small, fine stuff into a small baggie. So I'm gonna kind of do the same thing and only keep, just. But this one right here is pretty nice. But yeah, the last one had pretty much four strange looking ones that weren't as nice or anything. A little reddish, and the stuff that I put in this Ziploc is also, I might be missing a few. I mean, or the size. Some of these are really nice also, so gotta be really careful, I think. But just to keep things a little more organized, the really small stuff. So yeah, you probably can't really see it, but I mean, it's pretty nice just sorting things out, and eventually later on, I might sort them out some more. I see a red one, so basically, but just kind of trying to organize stuff. I already cleaned it, but there are a few, and I even showed one, but I don't really like this heart, but compared it to these other pieces of hearts and stuff, and well, eventually, like, the pieces that I picked for the most part, stuff like that, could probably mix these. I mean, I've been putting a bunch of these already in there, so so not bad, for just trucks. Mainly all the really good pieces, and then the smaller miscellaneous box. So even different pieces. But I found a clear triangle from last time, and it ended up, well, two of the corners were really off, and the top corner was pointy, so that was one. Found another flaw, but I kind of like the last one. This first one has these right here, and these are really interesting pieces. So I can't wait to get this stuff like really nice and red, nice size too. But yeah. So mainly my good ones, basically, eventually, but so until I get these individually wrapped, or I mean, that's things would definitely be good, faceted basically, or at least organized. So small that I don't. It's some pretty much my gemstones for now. Did so, with the third one, things were looking skeptical just for some of the larger sizes, and I got a bunch of really small bad ones. This one is from the other But I did get some really nice, like really smaller pieces, I would say. I mean, just putting them in the bag, they felt more stony, things like that. They can, pretty much have some weight, I guess. With I can't really compare this with the others because the others had kind of larger pieces and stuff. And so they they're some of that as I'm going along, but eventually but it's not going to be as you know glamorous if you know I would have to have a I'll probably have to start with making a tube. Welcome to Upside DIY. So I'm going to be checking out some gemstones with this. So that turns on, and then I couldn't find my other tray situation, so I basically have this light. So I'm just going to point it. I really can't really see as clear as my other one, but if I stand up and look through it, I could really like use this light if I want to look for any flaws within this material. Some of this material is clear acrylic, and some might be glass, right or something. But it you know, but there are like different facets. Is one thing that was really interesting about these parcels that I've been getting in June. So, but the overall like business of this, yeah, it's pretty good for but you gotta pretty much have everything put together. Like repairs. So this one is supposed to be mostly small ones, but I put a couple of other larger. But yeah, this light, how this light does work, I can technically look through each stone and see if there's a flaw and spot any major flaws. This one has like two little holes or beads in it. So it's a pretty good successful test. Depending on certain things, I'll have to know the size of gemstones. Some kind of like the small ones in rings, the medium, and even the semi-small ones can also be in rings, also as a centerpiece. And then, if I had like two or three or four larger ones, it could be something else, like a pendant or a bracelet, or stuff to set up, and basically not worry too much about faceting. I'm getting small baggies coming up and stuff, so uh, having this little bowl and tray and things like that. Then I could just turn on the light, and then I could find ways, or just pick out whichever pieces that are going to match. There's a couple hearts and ovals or spheres, basically. So I definitely forgot or wasn't making myself, clear about needing baggies. But eventually, yeah. So eventually, just showing off how this light, basically, so I'm kind of stuck back to YouTube and sorting out what I've got up to this point, and then waiting for the baggies to get here. There's a few triangles. So you can really see, pretty much see a bunch of the clarity, and then um, from the clarity, you kind of want to uh, go maybe on the shape and the size, this and that, or even what's matching, and then the shape and the size. So I got a few of these triangles. That's where I was putting it, and a few of these rectangles. So then petals, and basically working with stuff like this. Depending on the size, I can make kits, for certain designs, like have toothpicks, and then I could get like silicone mold and, press in, just these pieces, show off the facets, and then make little small painted acrylic pieces that are 3D. Just working with a few things, and with a box to put all the bad ones away. So I've got a few boxes up here that were there. All these are actually have a little bit of a flaw or a bad shape and things. This one, has a bunch of nicks and scratches, but the thing is, it's a pretty nice shape. Not a bad shape, or color wise even. Yeah, if I could just pick out at least some of the broken pieces or undesirable ones at first. Just for this part, like a piece like this, I'm touching it, basically it feels kind of really synthetic, like there's like it feels a little rubbery, but also it does have some glass properties. But for the most part, there's basically besides the usual visuals and things, facets, these I don't really, it kind of feels like candy, like a piece of like lightweight candy. Is what these, you kind of want to figure out any um uniform uniform one compared to the other two, just because but a lot of the smaller pieces and chips were pretty decent, little small facets basically, and all types of colors and things like that. um I even got the small cross in the third piece, so, or the parcel, so not bad. But for pretty much like, certain uh topic, I guess, I put the good ones so all into one box, and then it overflowed, so I basically have to use another baggie. This one has just pretty normal looking ones. I should actually change a few things um, with the you know but this doesn't feel like, it's not really plastic. It kind of feels like ceramic for one. All these pieces, but there's a flaw right there. So, but some of them aren't flawed. They're just shaped and designed differently, and also might have a chip in it. So, other ones of these. So, using what these items. So, but some of these I've sorted out into small, and spray like oil on this rag, and